Hi, this is Maginone, and welcome to another edition of The Good, the Bad, and the Disappointing. This was actually kind of a tough week, but at the same time, it was kind of easy. Let's start off, like always, with the good. And that is, I'm going to go with Fantastic Four number 8. Now, here's the deal. Is Fantastic Four number 8 the best comic out on the shelf this week? Probably not. You're probably going to see a lot of people bickering about it. They didn't like the way the direction of the book is going. And, that's fine, because this is a very polarizing story. The thing is, you have to understand is this is really Fantastic Four disassembled. Marvel did this with the Avengers. It was not met with open arms at all. And that turned out to be one of the best things for the Avengers. Now, I'm not saying this storyline is going to be the best thing for the Fantastic Four, because there's some holes in it. But this is what really drew me to the book. It's the emotional side of things. See, the thing is, this is a family. And what you're watching, or I should say reading, is a family being ripped apart. You have, on one hand, the children being taken away. You have Reed and Sue being called unfit parents, and they're going to have to prove themselves in order to get the children back. Excuse me. You have the Thing, wanted for murder. And, of course, he claims he didn't do it, which I believe he probably didn't. But the thing is, he's so messed up in the head because of what he found out that Johnny did. And on top of that, all like the anger that he had with that, how he handled himself prior to that scene where Reed found him standing over the body like that of the puppet master. Yeah, it does look like he probably did do it. So he's not right in the head. You also have, going on the far end here, you have like this really strong moment between Reed and Sue as they're talking about the events that happened. And the thing is, with Reed and Sue's relationship, it's always been Reed never had time for Sue, and she always basically stood in the back while Reed did whatever he needed to do. And this is the time where it's like they actually have a quiet time to bond and actually show like emotions towards each other type thing. And I thought that was a really, really good moment. Then you have Johnny, who basically goes, he lost his job because he can't flame on anymore. And so this whole family is just ruined. Now, on top of that, you have the Invisible Woman who's so angry and distraught. She basically takes on the Avengers, and, if given enough time, she probably would have beat them all. And, just again proves that how much more powerful she really is, and how, like, a lot of times nobody gives her the credit that she deserves. So overall, when I looked at it as a whole, this thing really hit on different levels. It had, I thought, good artwork. It had a strong... It generated a strong sense of feelings and emotions for watching the, like I said, the family being torn apart. Seeing Ben Grimm just being reduced to now, instead of being my name is Ben Grimm the Thing, I'm now a monster. And, it's going to take a lot to pull this family back together again. And I'm really looking forward, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Seeing them hit rock bottom, work their way through it, and then come back on top. Okay, let's go with the bad. Okay, this is Original Sin. Number 7. Here's the deal. This to me feels like a book that had a great idea. They probably had a fantastic pitch. But something got lost in translation. It took way too long to get this going. The sins so far have been unsatisfactory as a whole. There might be a good one here and there, but let's be honest, some of this stuff like The Last Will of Charles Xavier's a joke. Tony sabotaging the bomb, it's a joke. It's just not living up to its full potential. I'll word it that way. Now, in this issue here, we have all the superheroes all pissed off at the original Nick Fury, and they're all fighting him. And Nick Fury is just taking them to town. And he whispers something to Thor, and Thor can't lift his hammer any longer. And it's just like, just so much stuff is going on here. While you have the fight in space, you have all the events that led up to, the Watcher getting killed with Midas and the orb. And it's like there's just so much stuff. It's like you have to have ADD just to keep going and keep track of what's going on, because everything's just going one thing to the other. It's who do you trust? Is it Nick Fury? Is it the Avengers? Why did Winter Soldier take the orb and try to blow everybody up? There's just all this stuff is going on. You have the orb going in crazy with power, and it's like you need to slow down a little bit. I mean, I realize you only have another issue left, but if you had paced yourself a little bit better, maybe you wouldn't have had to have this big ol' mess at the end. It's like basically, you put all your jelly beans at the end of the pot, so to speak, and you shake it all up at the last minute. And I'll be honest, it's becoming like a mess. And, at the rate this is going, I guarantee you, I'm not going to buy the trade for this, because this has not been a stellar series so far. And it's like the last battleground. Who cares, in all honesty? This is a joke. What, the last battleground with the superheroes fighting the original Nick Fury, and Nick Fury has 2 eyeballs floating in space, and you have Spider-Man trying to web them, and they're floating around. You know how crazy that thing looks? Like a Saturday morning cartoon. This, to me, is just not what I would consider a strong work. I don't consider this a strong work from Aaron. I think, like I said, it's a potential that should have been fantastic. And it's just not. It's not even living up to what it should be. This is the kind of nonsense I would expect from another publisher that's moving to California. I don't expect this from Marvel, especially the way they plan things out. And it's a growing shame. I'm honestly not looking forward to the last issue. Alright, let's go with the disappointment. Okay, right here, let's call it like it is. Superman, Wonder Woman, number 11. This is a colossal disappointment. First of all, you have the bulk of the storyline with Superman fighting with the Doomsday virus, trying to get rid of it. Then, when he finally gets rid of it, all the seeds all these little soldiers are in place. You have Brainiac on one hand. You have, Lois Lane Brainiac. You have Superman doomed. You have Zod. You have, what's his name? Mondo. And you have, Steel, and you have a bunch of other heroes. And Cyborg. All these other characters. Wonder Woman, Batman, they're all ready to fight. And guess who's not fighting? You're getting... It's like they're afraid to fight, in a way. And it's just driving me freaking insane. You had Cyborg Superman who goes, I just needed to stall you long enough because, the real Brainiac thing fight is down there. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, just fight. That's what I want. I just want to see this huge fight in space. You have Cyborg who finally gets to shine a little bit, and he gets taken over. I'm like, really, Cyborg? Are you that pathetic? And then you have, Wonder Woman's got to make this huge sacrifice, and she's got to go into the negative zone and, deal with Zod and, Mondo. And I'm like, that's a little too late, I'm like, how about let's throw some more throwdown? And I know some of you people out there are probably going, Majinoni, I don't know what you're talking about. There's fighting everywhere. And this is a fantastic book because, they're fighting Space Knights, and, you had all these characters, Martian Manhunter, and it's awesome. But let me just tell you something here. You people out there who are saying that you like this, you are easily satisfied. You do not understand how this story could have gone down. I ask you this, and I ask you to answer this honestly. Who out there would rather see Superman throw down with some Space Knight rejects, or would you rather have this issue have Superman be fighting Brainiac, Cyborg Superman, Zod, Mondo, and all those guys. Take a moment. You might need that, because let me tell you, I want the Zod Mondo fight. I don't want to see Space Knights. This is freaking ridiculous. This book is called Superman, not I want to delay the big battle for as long as possible because I need to try to increase my sales because the book isn't selling. Nonsense. Because that's what they're doing. They're extending the book so it goes into Supergirl, I believe, is where the next issue runs. How about who cares about Supergirl, and let's end it. You know what I mean? Have the fight. And then this whole thing of Superman trying to get rid of the virus finally succeeds, and what does he do? He lets the virus out, and the virus takes over him. And the virus, they can't even get the drawing straight. It looks like this is how ridiculous this thing looks. It looks like this body grew outside the top part of his costume, where the neck should be. I'm like, my God. And then to top it all off, they have to tie it into, Future's End. A bunch of books are going into Future's End nonsense, because Future's End was such a spectacular success. Oh, God, man. Why do we put ourselves through this nonsense? In all honesty, if you like to settle for something less, this is a fantastic run. This is probably the best Superman you have seen in years. And I'm being honest about that. This probably is the best Superman you have seen since the New 52 for sure. And maybe a little bit before that. But let me tell you something. This is not no good Superman. This is watered down, nonsensical fighting to delay the final battle for as long as I can, so this way you buy chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type nonsense. That's what's going on. And it's ridiculous. You should be ashamed of yourselves. At least Marvel's nice enough to end this crap in 8 issues. Well, actually, that's probably 8 issues too, so they're both at fault. Anyways, that's my good, the bad, and the disappointing. Like and share. Let me know what you guys thought was your good, your bad, your disappointing. Facebook, Crunchyroll anime reviews. More reviews and stuff later. Until next time, definitely don't buy Superman.